Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. PTSD. What is really like my brother died in my hands. I used to be a drug trafficker and an addict. I went to a rehab center 2.5 years ago and since then I'm clean. But last June on the 25th my brother, who was a mafia boss in my country, went outside to get money from someone who owned him. When he tried to come back he was shot 3 times and I saw him falling and heard his scream. I busted out the door and then my mother and other brother come too. I can't describe how I felt that moment. I was sucking blood out of his throat so he could breathe. I gave him CPR and closed his wounds, but he died 15 minutes after in my hands. I was covered in his blood but I didn't cry, I was calm. When I looked in the mirror after the police came I realized what happened and I started screaming and hitting myself. Almost 1 year has passed and I am diagnosed with PTSD. Basically when I'm talking about something that makes me feel good, that scene pops into my head. When I'm with a girl in bed. When I try to sleep. When I go to take a shower and I see myself in the mirror. My life will never be the same. End of story. Next story. That one time I predicted the future. So when I was around 6 or 7 I had a really weird dream that very short. I was at a beach with a gray sky. It was cool. And nobody else was there. I was looking at a volleyball net and there was a kid to my left. And 2 adults on the other side. I woke up. And never said anything about my dream. Fast forward to when I was 9. And I randomly started remembering my dream from when I was 6 or 7. The image of the kid to my left. The adults. The gray sky. Etc. I didn't know anyone in the dream and it felt weird to me. I was remembering such a odd dream from a few years ago. 3 days later. A series of events I don't seem to remember led to me, my dad, and my sister going to the beach with 2 friends of my dad's, who had a son. I brought a volleyball because I wanted to play volleyball with my sister and my dad's friend's son. My dad went somewhere on the beach that was not in my range of vision for whatever reason and me, my dad's neighbor's son, and my little sister were all on a team against my dad's friends. There was a gray sky but I thought nothing of it. Then, my little sister went behind me and my dad's friend's son went to the left and it was the exact image from my dream. I had to take a moment to recollect my thoughts from this huge déjà vu moment and that's when I remembered the dream for the first time today. TL. Doctor. When I was little I had a dream that predicted the future. End of story. Next story. Finding out that my teacher was a pedophile. This only happened a month ago. I was walking home with my friend from college when he told me, "EY lad, is there someone in your school?" Old school, that's a nonce. And nonce is slang for pedophile in the UK BTW. And I said, "No, haven't heard anything mad like that. Why, who's apparently a nonce?" And he says, "Mrs. Nicholson," and I just stopped and was thinking to myself, that's not right. She was a nice person and she was 26, really young, practically could blend in as a student. I denied the claim until I got home later on when my other friend from school sent me pictures of my old science teacher, which were nudes to a year 11 dude, and get this, she even picked him up from football practice and was doing this for a couple of months I think. Don't know exact details, might do a update when more stuff comes out about it, but still blows my mind. And ATM, she's being investigated. Her life is probably gonna dip now, plus the nudes she was sending. She had her wedding ring on. Feel bad for her husband. But 2020 for you crazy stuff. End of story. Next story. A night I was once asked to write a story on the night. But my teacher didn't write it on the board. So my boring mind thought, the night. I passed up my work, and when I realized I did a big mistake, I added the letter K to all the nights. From day to night. The night grew dark and scary. The night had been defeated by the sun. End of story. Next story. Before sunrise happened to me. I need to put this out here. Anyone who's seen the movie knows what I'm talking about. I met a girl. I fell deeply in love with her in a matter of days, but honestly I feel like it was instant. We had 2 weeks before she moves away, but we couldn't not fall in love. She flew out this dawn. We stayed up all night. Sat on the shore of the Danube. The same place I kissed her first just 10 days ago. So many feelings. The last thing we talked about was that this is the love of our lives. She's not here anymore and it's really difficult. I spend every second devising a plan on how to follow her, but sometimes I'm scared I won't be able to. End of story. Next story. How COVID-19 saved my dad. Sorry if this is hard to understand. I'm in mobile. It's my second post ever and I have dyslexia. And if you don't know what that is, it makes reading and writing very hard for me. So my dad works with us on stage director for DJ such as Swedish House Mafia, Marshmello and many other. He works big events like EDC Orlando, EDC Las Vegas, and he's usually on stage with the artist. So at these events it's large groups of people that my dad has to walk through. He did a few shows and came home, and after a few days he got a cold that kept him coughing all day and had terrible head aches. This went on for about a week and a half. After this, when he got checked again, he came back negative. A few days after this he started to have very bad lower stomach pain. It was so bad he couldn't move, and as his son I've never seen him in such pain, but he ended up going to the ER and turns out he has liver cancer. It was in stage 4, but they cut all the cancer out that they know of. He has fully recovered from the surgery and will be doing chemo soon. My family think COVID-19 made his body more reactive to pain, causing him to feel the cancer. I'm sorry, I know this was hard to understand and read, but I tried my best. Hopefully you can pull something from this or be amused by it. End of story. Next story. Nearly got kidnapped. So first of all, English isn't my foreign language, so sorry for some confusion. It was in the year 2017 and I just moved away from my parents due to family problems, depression and a trauma. Another story was someone bleed a ton and was short form dying in front of me, but I'm fine with it now. So I lived in a kind of foster cause I was only 16 near 17. So new in the city, I wanna see a bit of my new town and also wanna play a bit Pokemon Go as well as Pokemon on my DS. Important for later. I was going out and standing near a hospital and was playing both at the same time while I was sitting on some stairs as 2 buffed up guys like 190 m 6, 3 foot running right in my direction. I knew this can't be good and run. They catched me and one of the holding a knife direct on my throat and saying, "Where is Mike and where is the money, where is the 2K and how dare you to sell drugs near the hospital to catch the junkies right after they get out." I said don't know what they mean and that I'm new and don't know a Mike here, and then they trying to get me in their car. I screamed for help, but the persons there just ignored me. So I was sitting in their car thinking how I die. They going to my stuff, checking my WhatsApp and didn't find anything and see that the other thing was my DS. They said simultaneously, "Fuck, we have the wrong one," and kicked me out of the car. I run into the foster and collapse due to the shock and my nerves. That was the story where I nearly got kidnapped. Thank God I meet my friend Mike. Not the Mike. 4 weeks later, LMAO. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.